Hey guys, so today I'm gonna give you guys my first real life cooking video. I know for a while I've been doing these type of videos on my Snapchat, so a lot of you guys have been asking me to do kind of like a YouTube type of thing, you know, not just for cooking but for working out or whatever. So today on the menu we're gonna make a cabbage, white cabbage, fresh quinoa. It's the tri-colored quinoa, and we're also going to have some Morningstar chicken strips. And when I say chicken, it's like chicken. See, it's not really chicken. I'm a vegetarian, so yeah, this is what we're gonna have and this is what we're gonna make. So I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and stay tuned, and I hope you like it. So for the cabbage, that's the first thing that we're gonna start, because cabbage takes the longest time to cook out of all of these things that we're gonna make. So I already started the fire. I put I don't measure really, so I put enough cabbage. I put enough oil to lubricate the bottom of the pan. It's a little bit more than just to lubricate it, enough to just fry it a little bit, but we're not deep frying cabbage. So you want to just coat the pan generously. I turned my fire on so the oil's getting nice and hot right now. And I already, before I started filming, I already like prepped everything. So on this side of me, I have my cabbage here all chopped up. For the cabbage, I separated the top pieces of the cabbage from the bottom, like the green leaves from the white leaves, because the green leaves take longer to cook, just in case you guys don't know. So I would throw the green leaves in first in your pot and then throw the white ones in after. That's just a tip. Okay, I told you. All right. So then after that, I think my oil's ready now. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and throw in the green leaves. Alright guys, so I just added in the onions to the mixture. I'm adding in my garlic and a little bit of mushrooms. They were just mushrooms that I just had in the fridge and I just want to get rid of them, so I'm putting them in here. So that's that. Okay guys, so I just stirred my cabbage, the green leaves with the onions and everything. And I just added in 2 cups worth of vegetable broth. That's how much we're going to need for the quinoa. I mean, if you eat chicken, if you eat meat, you can use chicken broth. You could even use water, honestly. You don't have to use vegetable broth. I just use vegetable broth so that it gives the quinoa a little bit more flavor. And in a few minutes, when the vegetable broth begins to boil, that's when I'm going to add in the quinoa itself. For every cup of quinoa, you want to use 2 cups of water or vegetable broth. So that's the ratio for that. Alright, so at this point, I just added in the rest of the cabbage, the green and the white pieces. And now I'm going to just lubricate the pot with a little bit more vegetable oil. Alright, you guys. So I just finished stirring around the cabbage mixture. Gonna put the top back on it. So at this point, our vegetable broth is already coming to a boil. So we're gonna go ahead and add in the quinoa. Stir that around. After you stir around your quinoa, yes, put a top on it, let it sit for a second, and then you're gonna season it. Same thing with the cabbage. Alright guys, so at this point, it's time to start seasoning some things. I just stirred around the cabbage. I'm about to stir this quinoa a little bit too. And at this point, it's been about like 5 minutes since I added the quinoa in, so the quinoa is definitely evaporating the vegetable broth at this point. So we're going to go ahead and season that as well. Alright, so we're going to start with some salt. I like to start with salt first because I just feel like once you get it over with, I'm done with it. I don't really like to OD on the salt. Now we're going to add some brown black pepper, my favorite thing to cook with. Alright, so we're not going to, no, see, that's what I'm saying, I need more. We're going to use the whole. Not playing no games. Alright, so we're going to take some ground cumin. This is an Indian spice. And now we're going to add some curry and some turmeric as well to the cabbage. This is some garlic powder. We did add in fresh garlic in the beginning, but we're still going to add garlic powder to our cabbage. A little bit here to the quinoa as well. And some onion powder. So I'm gonna stir it all around. You'd be surprised how much seasoning your cabbage can take. I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't really even have to put a lot of seasoning on your cabbage. You could use some salt and some pepper, and that's it. And I know that that's how a lot of people eat cabbage, especially when they order it from like the Chinese food restaurant. When you're getting it from the Caribbean restaurants, please believe they're not putting a lot of seasoning in that cabbage at all. But me personally, and my cabbage at home, I like it to be very well seasoned. That's just a preference of mine. Stir around this quinoa. And really the quinoa is done, honestly. Alright, you guys, so the quinoa, we know it's done, so I moved it off of the stove and just kind of put it on a little warmer. And now we're going to start the chicken strips. I just put a little bit of oil on the pan just to lubricate the pan, because we're not just going to cook the chicken strips by themselves. Of course not. Of course. We're going to add in some red pepper, some green pepper, and some onion as well. Okie dokie, guys. So I just added in the peppers, the onions onto the skillet with a little bit of oil. It's sizzling a little bit. It's going to start to cook down somewhat. The cabbage is just about done. It's literally like nice and soft. The last thing that I like to do with my cabbage though for the finishing touch is I like to add in a little bit of water, put the the cover back on top of it, and let it kind of soften a little bit. So just gonna add in a little bit of water. Alright, that was about a cup. I'm sorry. I told y'all don't be measuring stuff, okay? I'm sorry. I just put it in until I feel like it's a good amount. And so the cabbage is done after I added in the water and put the top back on. I tasted it a little bit. Wasn't as seasoned as I'd like, so I busted open a pack of Saison, and I added that into the mixture as well. And I'm going to add some of that into the chicken as well. I'm telling you, this is supposed to be really good. So yeah, the peppers and the onions are just about pretty. They're caramelized. They're nice and not brown, but you know, they're like a little charred, a little grilled. So they're ready for the chicken to be added to the mixture. Alright. So with these chicken strips, straight from the freezer, you just put them onto the pan. You don't need to thaw them. It's not real chicken. That's unnecessary. And then we're going to add a cup of water into the skillet. Put the top on it. Let that simmer, and it literally only needs to simmer for about 7-8 minutes. That's what the directions say. So that's really it. So in about 5 minutes, when the frost starts to kind of break down a little bit, I'm gonna season them up a little bit. I did put some salt and some pepper already onto the peppers and the onions, but once the frost melts a little bit on the chicken strips, then we'll add a little bit more seasoning in there. Let it cook for 2 more minutes so that it can really soak in. And that's it. Okie dokie, guys. So we're pretty much done now. I just turned off the fire on the chicken strips. I already packaged up the quinoa and the cabbage. Nice and yummy. And I'm going to add in the chicken strips. I'm making a plate for myself because I'm going to eat some right now. And that's it, guys. And I made a portion size. I made enough meals to last me for 3 days. If you want to cook more, you can definitely do so. Me personally, after about the 3rd or 4th day of something, I kind of want to switch it up anyway. But it's up to you. I mean, you know, depending on what your schedule is, depending on how much time you have, you'll determine what the best cooking option will be for you and how much food you're going to make. If I left out any details that you guys are like, I guess you have any questions about, feel free to write a message for me, leave a comment below. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with more videos. Okay guys, stay fit, stay healthy, and veggies only.